Welcome to another episode of Action Video Game Talk. I'm your host, Scott Action Jackson. Thanks for joining me today or tonight or whenever you're watching or listening to this episode. We have another list of news articles to go through, so let's just hop right into them. December 3rd, 2014 is the 20th anniversary of the PlayStation brand. The first consoles were released in Japan on this day in 1994, and Sony is celebrating with an extremely limited PlayStation 4. The console features button symbol etchings and the original multicolored PlayStation 4 logo. Only 12,300 of these numbered units will be available worldwide. If you want one, you'll need to move quickly on Saturday, December 6th. Full details on pre-ordering will be available at the PlayStation Experience keynote. So this is something that Sony is actually doing to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the PlayStation brand. So what they did is they made a grayish colored PlayStation 4. There's a little bit of decals in the system along with the controller itself, which has the different, circle, triangle, square, X, and I think there's like a little etching of 20 in there too. But this is one of two things that Sony has done for the 20th anniversary. And these systems are very, very limited. Like it says here in the article, 12,300 of these. And I guess they're going to be starting to sell on Saturday, December 6th. And you have to check out, I guess, the PlayStation Experience keynote to find out more info about pre-ordering it and getting it. And I'm guessing it will probably have the standard 500 gigabyte memory. So if you want to get your hands on one of these, you might want to get over there and check this out. Sony has released a free PlayStation 4 theme that invokes memories of the original PlayStation 1 console, even going so far as to change the console's startup music. The new theme, which you can see, adds a gray background to the console and changes a number of icons you can expect to see. The most exciting change for those among us with the weakness for nostalgia, however, is the fact that when you turn on the console, you'll now hear those familiar chimes that greeted us 20 years ago. You can also get it for PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. So this is the actual second thing that Sony has released for the little 20th anniversary. Now with this, it is just a little theme that goes a little old school, but the startup on your PlayStation 4 does still start up like normal with the usual music, so it doesn't really do that little chime. However, the chime does start when you get to the main menu or main screen. Now this is supposed to be available also on the PlayStation 3 and the PS Vita, so you might want to go check in the PlayStation Store in the extras or whatever, wherever the themes are listed, and it should be available for free on there. Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain comes out next year, and what better way to catch up with the series than playing Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots on PlayStation 3. Konami has announced that Metal Gear Solid 4 will be available digitally for the first time on PlayStation 3 via PlayStation Network. The game will be released on PSN on December 16th for $19.99. The game will not come with Metal Gear Online like the original release, as the title was shut down in 2012. So one major question is, why hasn't Metal Gear Solid 4 been available as a digital purchase on PlayStation 3 until this point? I mean, was there some issues as far as the developer or something? Let's see, this will be released on the PlayStation Network on December 16th for $20. I don't know. I don't know if I would pay $20 for it. I mean, it says here that the game does not come with Metal Gear Online, which is probably going to be, which was probably additional content. I mean, I probably wouldn't pay $20 for this at this point. I mean, $10 maybe, but not 20. I mean, hopefully they include some additional stuff for you getting it digitally, because if this is the first time that's been available digitally, which I don't think it is, it just seems like a bad purchase for $20, unless, like I said, they include something else digitally. But that's just my opinion. The Dark Below, Destiny's first expansion, is due out in exactly 1 week. While you are busy scrambling to gear up to take on Corta, you might want to sneak a glance at what's to come. PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 players are getting a little something extra in their downloaded stocking. In addition to the Will of Corta strike, those playing on Sony systems will be able to return to the Black Garden on Mars and take on the Undying Mine. Additionally, you'll have a chance at the Fourth Horseman shotgun. It has 4 barrels and a return to sender upgrade node that drops ammo right into the magazine with each kill. As we've mentioned before, the Dark Blow includes new story missions, gear, a raised light level cap, new multiplayer maps, and a raid to take down the Hive God Crota. The Dark Blow is out on Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 3 on December 9th. Crota... Sorry if I got that name wrong. But it says that those playing on Sony systems will be able to return to the Black Garden on Mars and take on the Undying Mine. Don't you already fight him if you replay that mission over and over again? No, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is a nice little bonus for those who have the Sony systems. Especially the image of the, I guess, Fourth Horseman shotgun. 4 barrels, return to sender upgrade node that refills your ammo right in the magazine with each kill. That's gonna be an awesome bonus. But then again, you have to actually get it first. It's like you'll have a chance at the 4 Horseman shotgun. So who knows what the chance percentage is of getting that. But yeah, the Dark Blow expansion comes out on December 9th, so it'll be out next week for Xbox One, 360, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 3. And I'm sure a lot of people are trying to get their gear leveled up and light leveled up to actually take on some of these raids, or the one raid that is included in here. Good luck to all those people out there trying to raise their levels up. The co-director of Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix and Kingdom Hearts 3 has revealed Square Enix isn't ruling out putting the game on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Speaking with IGN, he explains that the moment development on Kingdom Hearts 3 was discussed, Square Enix planned to release HD 1.5 Remix and HD 2.5 Remix in order to set the scene for latecomers to the franchise. When we first came up with the idea for Kingdom Hearts 3, it was always 1.5, then 2.5, and we were always thinking about those 3 titles at the same time, he explains. I think putting the games on PlayStation 4 is something we'll explore. We understand what our players want, so we will explore the possibility. I'm not making any announcements though. We can't make any announcements yet. But while Sony gamers would likely appreciate the refresher, with Kingdom Hearts 3 heading to Xbox One as well as PlayStation 4, arguably it's Xbox owners that need the earlier installments of the game more than anyone else. When asked about whether an Xbox One edition of 1.5 and 2.5 could ever see the light of day, he was hesitant. While initial reasoning behind this was thought to be the initial exclusivity deal with Sony, it seems resources play just as much of a part. It's a big question, he says. There's a lot of things we need to think of when we consider consoles. One of them is what our players want, so we definitely consider that. But there's also schedule constraints, and we really don't want the development of Kingdom Hearts 3 going later. So we have to think about that. We'll consider all these things and come to a decision. Okay, so this is something that they would be considering and probably thinking about, but not making any decisions or announcements right now, is bringing the Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 over to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, of course, all the games on these remixes have been on different systems in the past. And we got some that were on, technically the Game Boy Advance one was transferred to PlayStation 2 at the time and updated, so we can kind of scratch that one off. But yeah, we have the stuff that was on PlayStation 2, PSP, the original DS, and maybe some 3DS. I think that was in the 2.5, or at least the cinematic part of it. So this is stuff that Microsoft Xbox owners have never been able to experience. Something for them to actually go back and play to more or less catch up story-wise, or at least try to catch up considering how weird the timelines can be with these games. This is something all Kingdom Hearts fans should be looking forward to. Well, if Square Enix ever decides to officially say that this is happening for the new-gen consoles. But considering that what they said here, there's schedule constraints that they have to worry about. They don't want to push back Kingdom Hearts 3 any further than it's already been pushed back. Something to note about this news article. There's 2 times when this quote has been kind of said. One, we understand what our players want. Really? I mean, obviously this isn't coming from Square Enix themselves. It's just coming from the co-director of Kingdom Hearts 2.5 Remix and Kingdom Hearts 3, not Square Enix themselves. And the second one says, there's a lot of things we need to think of when we consider consoles. One of them is what our players want. So we definitely consider that. Really? Considering that this isn't Square Enix, but if this was actually word for word what Square Enix says about not only Kingdom Hearts, but just about any franchise, why do we not have Final Fantasy VII HD Remix or something like that? I mean, is it that obvious that Square Enix doesn't want to make money? But after that last quote, it's like, but there's also schedule constraints. You guys have had years upon years that you could have remade Final Fantasy VII. But no, they don't want to make money. They don't listen to the fans. They don't listen to the fans of the Final Fantasy franchise. Because if they did, they would have released an HD Final Fantasy VII years ago. Okay, now it's time for this week's major new releases. Well, kind of major. First we have Christmas Wonderland for the 3DS, Ultimate NES Remix for the 3DS, NES Remix Pack for the Wii U, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for the Wii U, Game of Thrones Episode 1, Iron from Ice for PC, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and Xbox One, The Crew for PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Xbox 360. Why is there no PlayStation 3 there? I Am Bread for PC. Yes, you heard that right. Bread. Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix for PlayStation 3. Terraria for Xbox One. Well, that's it for this episode of Action Video Game Talk. Once again, thanks for joining me today, or tonight, or whenever you're watching or listening to this episode. Later on, I'll have the separate clips up for the different news articles if you want to check those out. Down below, I'll have the link for the Facebook page if you want to check that out. So, until next time, bye!